Hey, folks, it's Mark Arum. I hope you're enjoying the Mark Arum Show podcast. A reminder, you can hear this very radio show live Monday through Friday. We're live 6 to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. 608, 93 steamy degrees on Peachtree Street. Traffic stinks. This show won't. We hope, anyway. We're going to keep you entertained for the next 2 hours. Kicking off a Millennial Match Game in just a second. But first, we got breaking news. Deb Green, producer of the Mark Arum Show.
Where is
programming change tomorrow? Normally, the Mark Arum Show heard Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. Tomorrow, folks, we'll be on an hour, or only for an hour, but earlier. We'll be on 4 to 5 p.m., broadcasting live from SunTrust Park. Prior to the Braves playoff games, we'll be outside at the Delta Gate. Myself, all the bananas are going to be there tomorrow?
We will all be there.
Excellent. Very cool.
So they can come say hi to us.
That's it. Come say hi to us tomorrow. I guess we'll be out there earlier, like 3:30. We'll broadcast till 5 before the Braves game. So if you're going to SunTrust Park for the playoff game tomorrow, come and see us against the Cardinals.
Bring
we'll be
us
out there
some
early.
Cold water.
Yeah, bring us cold water.
Or milkshakes.
Or beverages or something.
Milkshakes, yeah.
It's going to be hot as
Yes.
Longoria tomorrow. So, yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Thanks for the station to make that happen. And I don't have to do an hour show tomorrow, and I get paid the same, which is even better. Longoria. All right, so we're going to play Millennial Match Game. We've got a virgin millennial in studio. Actually, I don't know if you're a virgin, Joseph, but you're virginal to the Millennial Match Game. He's shooting me a look right now. Joseph from our promotions team. How are you, Joseph?
I'm doing good, Mark. How are you doing?
Welcome to the Mark Arum Show and Millennial Match Game. Thanks for doing this. Your first Millennial Match Game. You were at the promotions team. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 25 years old. I live in Kennesaw. Graduated from Kennesaw State University. Yes, go Owls. Hooty hoo. I play in a local band called The Relics, and we play around the Atlanta area.
I'm guessing not. I'm sensing an whatchamacallit? An accent that's not Kennesawian.
Really? I get that a lot. People always have an accent, but the funny thing is, I was actually born in Athens, Georgia. But
really?
Yeah, people always think I have an accent.
I thought, I would have thought like you sound like you belong in U2. That's pretty cool. Yeah. What's your band's name?
We're called The Relics.
The Relics. All right. Doesn't he have an accent?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So.
All right. Very
That
cool.
sounds Australian.
I get that too all the time. I need to start going
I would
with
go
it.
with that if you're in a band.
Chicks dig it. Yeah,
See,
sure.
For that reason,
Just say yes.
I always forget to just say yes too.
Yeah.
You know, be like, I'm from Sydney.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so here you're in luck because this is a musical edition of Millennial Match Game. It's called Finish the Lyrics. So I'm going to play a famous lyric that maybe a famous song cut that maybe a millennial might not know, and I'm going to ask you to finish the lyric. All right, so sit back, relax. You're going to have fun, Joseph. Let's meet the contestants on the phone. Matthew's up on the Mark Arum Show. Hello, Matthew.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, my friend. A little bit about yourself, sir.
So I'm 42 years old. I'm also originally from Athens, Georgia, a Bulldog native, and I am a member of the much smaller Department of Defense in Atlanta, Georgia, both as a soldier and as a civilian.
Excellent. Well, thank you for your service, and thanks for playing. Matthew, you're going to be playing against Nick and Marietta. Nick, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, Mark, long-time listener, first-time caller. I live in Marietta. I am a contractor. I do a little bit of everything, but happy to be on.
Beautiful. How old are you, Nick?
34.
34 and 42. All right, and Joseph the Millennial is 25.
Yes.
All right, let's do it, Longoria.
Let's play Millennial Match Game.
All right, it's the Finish the Lyric edition of Millennial Match Game. We're going to start off with Matthew since alphabetically, I guess we'll go. All right, here's the cut. I'm going to play a cut from a famous song. You have to guess whether Millennial Joseph will be able to finish the lyric or not. You don't need to know the answer. You just have to guess whether or not Joseph will know. Here we go. Finish the Lyrics edition of Millennial Match Game. There we go. I play your part and you play your game. Will Millennial Joseph know what the lyric is to finish out that famous song? Matthew?
I'm going to say I hope so.
You say hope so. Joseph, the millennial, what's the rest of that song lyric go?
You give love a bad name.
That's the
Right after the part you stopped at.
yeah. Sorry about that. All right,
Yeah.
so we do get a point. Matthew gets the point. All right, Nick, you're up. Speaking of U2, we got a U2 clip here. Will Millennial Joseph know how to finish this famous song lyric? These city walls, only to be with you. What's the next lyric, my friend? Will he know it? Will Millennial Joseph know it, Nick?
I'm going to say no.
You say no.
Ooh.
Nick says no. Millennial Joseph, what's the rest of that lyric, buddy?
But I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
I'm missing the second part.
What are you stopping
It's
at?
the full piece, that's why.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, you're right. You got it. Still haven't found what I'm looking for. All right, 1-1. Doing all right so far in the finished lyrics edition of Millennial Match Game. Round 2 of Millennial Match Game brought to you, as always, by our buddies at Rocco's European Garage. Millennial Joseph in studio, 25 years young. Sounds like he's from Australia, but he's from Athens originally, now lives in Kennesaw. Finished the lyrics edition. All right, Matthew, you are up. Famous 80s song. I believe it's an 80s song. Will Millennial Joseph know how to finish this lyric?
I was being incomplete. I've been had. I was sad and blue, but you made me feel. Yeah, you made me feel.
Shiny and new. Stop. Will he know the end of that lyric, my friend?
I'm going to have to go with yes again.
I think it's a famous enough song that even a 25-year-old... Let's see. Millennial Joseph, finish that lyric, my friend.
I'm going to guess Shining on You.
Not even close.
Oh, my. Yeah, Pop is
It is the chorus.
Like a virgin.
oh, like a virgin.
Touched for the very first time.
I thought it might be that song, but I didn't want to sound really, really stupid.
Is it because
but Like a Virgin was not.
Is it
that
because
song.
I called you a virgin to start the show? Is that why you blocked that out?
That might have been
All
why.
right, so but for the record, I have no idea about Joseph's past. I don't know if he's a virgin or not. I know he's a Millennial Match Game virgin. All right, Nick, you can take the lead here. Finish the lyrics edition of Millennial Match Game. Will Millennial Joseph know how to finish this lyric? All right, what do you think? Will he know the rest of that song?
I'm going to say no.
When in doubt, the Millennial does know. Good job. Nick says no. Joseph, finish that lyric, my friend.
Hiding somewhere in the night.
We're going to attack him, Deb?
You would know.
Wait, did you play the end of it? Sorry, I was zoned out because it was so.
It said
triggered.
hiding somewhere in the night.
Then Don't Stop Believing. Okay, sorry, I zoned out because it was so trivial.
All right.
So it's just sorry. So
Yes.
that was like one of those like
All
where you
right.
just like
There you
almost.
go.
So no point for Nick.
No.
But
Yeah.
Joseph actually knew that. All right, here we go.
Yes, of course.
Matthew, you're back up. This is going to be a tricky one because I don't know Joseph's background. Will he know how to finish this famous song lyric?
The last one to know, the last one to show, I was the last one you thought you'd see there. And I saw the surprise and the fear in his eyes when I took his glass of champagne. And I toasted you, said, honey, we may be through, but you'll never hear me complain.
My voice cracked. What do you think? Will he know the answer to that question?
Joseph seems to know what's going on with music.
I think so, too.
I'm going to have to say yes again.
All right, Matthew says yes. Joseph, finish that lyric.
Well, I've got friends in low places
where the whiskey drown.
and the beer chases my
You would think that I would know
blues
that
away.
song, but
No.
that's all they played in the locker room.
That's it.
In baseball, 1991.
I used to host karaoke, and that was like a go-to.
Yeah, all right. So good point. Matthew gets the point there. Nick, you're up. You need this point, my friend. Will Millennial Joseph know how to finish this famous lyric?
Fires in their eyes, their words are really clear, so beat it, just beat it. You better run, you better do what you can. Don't wanna see no blood, don't be a macho man. You wanna be tough, better do what you can, so beat it. But you wanna be bad, just beat it, beat it, beat it.
All right. Will he be able to finish that MJ lyric, my friend?
Yes.
You say yes. All right. Millennial Joseph, finish that lyric for me, buddy.
No one wants to feel defeated.
I'm going to give it to you. It's no one wants to be defeated. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Nick gets the point. We got time for one more before the break. Here we go, Matthew. Deb Green's perhaps favorite band. Will Millennial Joseph know how to finish this lyric? Your pillow tight. Take my hand. Will Joseph know how to finish that lyric? What do you think?
Absolutely.
He
Joseph,
says-
we got to talk. You don't know this.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Hey, all right, Joseph, a lot of pressure. Finish that lyric, buddy.
It's off to Never Ever Land.
We'll give it to you. It's
Close
Never
enough.
Neverland.
See,
but
I was contemplating Never Never or Never
Never
It's-
ever. You're
yes.
thinking of Peter Pan.
Yeah,
but I'll
Never
give you the point.
Neverland.
All right, that's the end of round 2. Deb Green, what's the score?
We got Matthew 3, Nick at 1.
Oh, 3-1. We got a
Yeah.
blowout going on, but Nick's going to come back and try to tie this bad boy up. I just dropped off on Matthew, so he might win by default. Call back, Matthew. I'm sorry. Millennial Match continues next on the Mark Arum Show. Final segment, Millennial Match Game. It is 3-1. Matthew is leading Nick. Nick, you're up. This is the lyric edition of Millennial Match Game. We got Millennial Joseph in here. Will he know how to finish this famous lyric, Matthew?
Maybe I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just like my father too. Oh, maybe I'm just like my mother. She's never satisfied.
Why do we scream at each other? Stop. Will he know the next line of that lyric? What do you think, Matthew?
Let's go with yes again.
He says yes. Finish that lyric, Joseph.
Oh, I hate to disappoint you like this. I'm going to just take a Hail Mary here. Why do we scream inside?
Yes. Very close. No. This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
Do you not know Prince?
Yeah, Prince, Mike.
Oh, that was...
Yeah. Well, he's from abroad.
That's
I'm from
true.
abroad.
That's
Yeah, I'm
true,
from
yes.
abroad.
He's from Australia. We've plumb run out of time, Matthew. You cannot catch up, or Nick can't catch up, but don't worry. We got prizes for both of you. Hang on the line. Deb Green is going to read the prize while Low T Chuck gets some info from you. What did they win, Deb
Both going
Green?
to go check out Brantley Gilbert Thursday, October 10th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater.
Good job to Millennial Joseph. Thanks to Rocco's European Garage, sponsor of the Millennial Match Game. The Mark Arum Show continues next.
Jamie Foxx here. You there? You listening to the Mark Arum Show? You better. We used to be number 10.
Welcome back to the show. 6:39, 93 degrees on Peachtree. It's October 2nd, Deb Green. It's a 9 on the Mark Arum Show back sweat meter. I'm sweating like something that sweats a lot. What sweats a lot? Would be a good analogy there, Longoria. What sweats a lot? A peach? Isn't there a fruit that sweats? Oh, that grape is sweating? No.
I don't think so.
No, there's something that sweats. There's like an inanimate object that sweats. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Tomorrow, we will be sweating at SunTrust Park. The Mark Arum Show will be live early, 4 to 5 p.m., broadcasting at the Delta Gate at SunTrust Park prior to the playoff game. Come out and see us, say hi, and all that good stuff. Still to come on tonight's show, Johnny Kilbasa with a fast food review. This morning, I'm going to tell the story without naming names, just to protect the innocent. So in one of the newsrooms, I'm not even going to say if it was radio or TV this morning, because I do both. Work here on Atlanta's Morning News with Scott Slade, and I'm on Channel 2. So in one of the newsrooms, there was a conversation with a dude. He was like, I want to take my girlfriend to somewhere romantic this weekend. What's the most romantic place you've ever been to? That was the conversation. And everyone was like, oh, this bed and breakfast in Dahlonega, or this Italian restaurant in Peachtree City. And they're like, Mark, what's the most romantic place you've ever been to? And I had thought about it, and I was like, Blockbuster Video.
What?
Blockbuster Video. When I think romance, nothing turns me on more than thinking about Blockbuster Video.
What?
And I'm going to explain this because this is the exact
Please,
reaction I got in the newsroom. I was like, what is wrong with you? I mean, obviously, there's a lot wrong with me.
Yes.
So if you're too young, you're not going to understand this story. But I think people my age and older will understand. Back in my early dating years, it was like, all right, we'll go out to dinner. We'll go to Applebee's, and then we'll
Classy.
either go to a movie or we'll rent a movie and take it from there. And if you got the green light from the lady to go to Blockbuster, you knew it was on. Mm-hmm. Because that meant, all right, we're getting a movie and we're going back to my house.
I see where you're going.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like,
now okay.
Those crappy fluorescent lights, the yellow and blue.
Yeah.
Nothing to me is more romantic than that. That the anticipation of walking into Blockbuster, with this girl, you've been on 3 dates with her, and you just had Applebee's or whatever, and now you're picking out a movie, which was like, it's done. Don't screw this up. Like, she's coming back to your home. Mm-hmm. Like, it was a great way, too, to be like, what do you want to do after dinner? I don't know. You just want to grab a movie and chill at my place? Sure. It was like, yes!
Oh, yeah.
Like that, if you're under a certain age, you'll never know that feeling. I guess now it would be like, you go out to dinner with a girl if you're I don't know, in your 20s, and you say, do you want to go back and watch Netflix?
Yeah.
But you missed that experience.
But you missed the experience of going and picking it out.
The titillization of walking around Blockbuster.
You don't go to Redbox?
I've never done Redbox, so I don't know. I guess is that still a thing?
I think so.
Yeah. But I remember walking into
That's what Russ would do.
Blockbuster.
Just go to a big red box on the side of the building.
And there's no movies in there.
And you
It's
check
just
out.
randos.
So you walk into Blockbuster and you check out. You're like, all right, what are the new releases?
Yeah.
Jumanji or
Classic.
yeah, whatever's
You
there.
did have to be a little careful what you suggested. Or what you picked out.
Exactly.
Like you had to be a little bit careful what you.
See, once you walked into Blockbuster, you knew it was on, right? So at that point, your taste in movies don't matter.
Nope.
Whatever she wants. Oh, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants? You got it. I'd love to see that. Beaches with Bette Midler? Done. Let's do it. So that to me, like I will never experience that again.
You just remember, I never thought about it like that, but now I'm just rolling through the Rolodex of Blockbuster Hastings runs that I made after dates.
Exactly. And it was like it was almost like I don't know if I can say this word, the foreplay.
Sure. Yes.
Walking through Blockbuster. And I'm old enough to remember when it was just the video cassettes, right? Before they had the DVDs, and you'd go through the videos, and it's just like, I don't know, it was like the build-up. It was like, all right, we'll start in the horror. Let's see if she's crazy and picks a horror film.
Crazy.
And then we go to romantic comedies, and let's see, she's picking a Tom Cruise movie or a Brad. I don't know. To me, like, nothing will ever recapture that feeling of that intimate stroll through Blockbuster going, it doesn't matter what movie we're getting. Like this, she's coming back to my house. I'm glad you failed. You
I finally figured out where you're going.
You've been dating your wife for long enough, Longoria. You probably had some Blockbuster dates back in the day.
I still have my Blockbuster card in my wallet.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's probably in there somewhere.
You've seen the size of his wallet.
That was the best breaking and entering tool ever in college. So in the dorm rooms, like they were easy to break into. All you needed was that skinny laminated Blockbuster card, and you just like jiggle it inside and like click the lock. So everyone's Blockbuster cards in college always are hammered like that. I'd like to see your Blockbuster card.
Yeah,
All right. I just wonder if anyone shares that affinity of Blockbuster with me. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk. And ladies, did you know that once you went to Blockbuster, it was fait accompli, game over? I'll ask Deb Green that when we come back. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. This is The Mark Arum Show. If Disney World, which Longoria just came back from, is the happiest place on earth, to me, the most romantic place on earth was Blockbuster Video. Your thoughts on Blockbuster memories at 404-872-0750. Tony's in Sandy Springs. Tony, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. And I, too, have extremely fond memories of the Blockbuster green light.
Yeah, exactly right. He's like, after dinner, what do you want to do? Let's just get a movie and go back to your place. Ding!
Oh, it was a beautiful thing. And my wife and I actually talked about this recently, and she's a manager at a restaurant here in Atlanta that sells a lot of chicken.
Okay.
Got a lot of young people working for it, and one day everybody was like, what'd you do this weekend? And she innocently said, because we're, 40 and 50, we just kind of watch Netflix and chill. And they were all like, oh, you can't say that. And then they explained to her what it meant. I didn't know that's what it meant. I'm perfectly okay with the explanation. But apparently you can't say Netflix and chill out loud anymore.
What is it? I really don't know.
Have sex.
Oh, really?
That's what it means to the young people. It's code.
Huh. All right. Remind me not to say that in front of the millennials at the digital desk, Deb Green.
Yeah, that's what
I literally thought it was like, oh, we're going to chill out and watch Netflix. It's not. That's not what it means.
It's the same thing as Blockbuster and come over.
All right. Well, but it seemed like I've heard people say, I'm just going to go home alone and Netflix and chill. Oh,
yeah.
I see what they meant. Never mind. All right, my bad. All right, good. That's good information, Tony. Mental note. Don't say that anymore, Longoria.
I'm surprised you didn't know that.
I literally thought, Netflix and chill meant go home, watch Netflix, and go to sleep. I do that every night. Fred's in Lawrenceville. Fred, you are on the Mark Arum Show.
Mark, love your stuff, man.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, I'm going to bring this connection home for you guys, because when I first moved to Atlanta, I transferred from Macon to Atlanta, and I worked for Cox, and they own the Blockbuster franchise.
They did, really?
Yeah, and I used to manage a store. When I first moved to Atlanta, I managed the Blockbuster in Cartersville. Then I got the dream job of managing the Blockbuster in Sandy Springs. So
that would be a dream.
Yeah.
I would imagine Friday and Saturday nights, just seeing couples walk in there and the pheromones just wafting off of, because, I don't know about old married couples like Longoria, but, what it was just.
Old married couples? What am I, 50?
No, I'm sure there was benign reasons for people to go to Blockbuster.
Oh,
back
right.
in the day.
I got you. Yeah.
But,
like legitimate watching a movie.
Yeah,
I really want to watch this movie.
Exactly right.
I want to chill with you.
But it was just me walking in with some rando that I met at Tongue and Groove the weekend before. But oh man, I miss those days. I bet if they put there used to be the Blockbuster I went to was on Howell Mill. Everything in my life revolves on Howell Mill, and I could it's a bank now, which is very sad. But I'd walk in there and just you open that, and those crappy fluorescent lights and the cutouts of Will Smith, just like it was just so awesome, such an awesome experience. Deborah's in McDonough. Deborah, welcome to the show.
Yes. I wanted to say that Blockbuster was a very innocent experience for us. we were already married, and we would take our children there on Fridays to pick out movies. Don't ruin that.
Well, you loved Blockbuster for a whole different reason.
Yes.
You remember picking out Finding Nemo, and I would pick out something else. Yeah. No, I don't mean to spoil it, but if for
no, you did.
For my someone my age, so I'm 45. In that 90s era when Blockbuster was just king. And yeah, that was it. Do you want a funny story about this, Deborah? Netflix or Blockbuster had an opportunity to buy Netflix back in the day for not a lot of money. I think Deb could probably find the story. And Blockbuster was like, nah, we don't want Netflix. They're a flash in the pan.
My husband talks about how Blockbuster missed out on that opportunity, but I do miss Blockbuster.
Yeah, I miss Blockbuster. I just heard from Maya on the Piccadilly hotline. I don't miss those days. I should have been more articulate. I never had the opportunity to take Maya to Blockbuster.
Right.
That would be very romantic now.
Correction.
To take my girlfriend to Blockbuster and let her pick out her favorite Legally Blonde movie, whatever she wants to watch. That's what I miss, Maya. I would love to take you there. I know this dude's been to a Blockbuster or two. Russ in Gainesville joins us.
Come here a minute. I want to talk to you.
What's going on, brother man?
Hey, I've had a crazy day today. Oh, my God. I guess I broke up with Corrali, and I got in a fight with some guy that was trying to get with her, so I'm with Candy now. I got a new girl. She's right next to me.
Where'd you meet Candy? Russ?
Yeah, square. I hang out on the square. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. So you met her on the square in Gainesville. What happened to the girl last night?
Oh, God, who did I have last night?
Gosh.
There was a girl named Jennifer. Now, she was with me a couple days ago.
No, not Griffey's.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, she wasn't actually at my house.
Oh.
Now, she's a girl from plenty of fish that won't go out with me.
Oh, yeah, that's
You
when
know,
that was listed on the radio, you said.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So Candy, what's Candy's real name? I'm assuming her real name's not Candy.
Is it Candy? Is it really Candy? Yeah, she said it really is Candy.
Oh, excellent. All right. Well, listen, good luck with Candy tonight.
Thank you.
We're going to, excuse me, I'm all verklempt, Russ. We're on early tomorrow from 4 to 5 at SunTrust Park.
Okay.
So we'll have to catch up with you on Friday and find out what happened with Candy, okay?
Oh, I can't call tomorrow at 4 o'clock?
Well, you can, but it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be hectic. I'd rather get a full debrief
okay.
from you on Friday.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. As the world turns, the soap opera that is Russ Light. Russ Light. I don't know. Who did I have yesterday? Jennifer? I can't even remember.
That's bad.
Unbelievable. When we come back, a blast from the WSB past will join us. Chris Kroc coming up next on the Mark Arum Show.
The Mark Arum Show is performed before a live studio audience.
I'll run this town to be near you. I stand
Welcome back to the show. A good Wednesday Eve to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 7:07, 7 minutes after 7 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, heard Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. on 95.5 WSB. The whole gang's here tonight. Deb Green produces the show. Longoria, the Stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Low T Chuck screens your calls. Programming note, tomorrow we're live and we're early, broadcasting 4 to 5 p.m. prior to the Braves playoff game against the Cardinals. We'll be out at SunTrust Park at the Delta Gate, I'm told, Deb Green. Me and all the bananas the bananas and I will be out there. We're going to have goodies to give away?
I do not believe so.
Okay.
But you can bring us stuff.
Oh, you're always welcome to bring us a Holman and Finch burger from SunTrust Park. So I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. It's only going to be 98 degrees for the start of the Braves game. Have you guys been paying close attention? I'm going to go to Charles Thomas from the Resurgent. Have you been paying close attention to the Amber Geiger story out of Dallas? It was the police officer, the female police officer went into the wrong apartment and shot and killed a guy. And she was convicted yesterday, I guess, and sentenced today to 10 years in prison. Here's the latest from ABC Radio News.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Daria Albinger. A jury in Dallas, Texas has just reached a decision regarding the sentencing of former police officer Amber Geiger, who has been convicted of murder for fatally shooting someone who lived upstairs from her. She went into his apartment thinking it was hers. Turned out it was not. She was convicted of murder. The jury has decided she will get 10 years in prison and no fines. She had faced up to life in prison. Repeating, a jury in Dallas, Texas, sentencing former police officer Amber Geiger to 10 years in prison with no fines in connection with the murder of her neighbor, Botham Jean. I'm Daria Albinger. This has been a special report from ABC News.
So yesterday when she was convicted, I saw a lot of stuff on social media in a negative light that she was convicted of murder. And I didn't know enough about the story to opine, because it seemed like to me to be an open and shut case. Like, she went into the wrong house. The guy was sitting there on his couch eating ice cream, and she shot and killed him. It didn't seem to be like that kind of a controversial decision or case, but I don't know enough about it. So we go to our old buddy Chris Kroc, who is now a radio talk show host in Dallas, Texas on WBAP. Chris, you might remember, back from overnights here on WSB. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Excellent. Well, thanks for taking time out to join us, because this is a local story for you, so I figured you'd have insight. Why were people up in arms yesterday about the guilty verdict? I don't understand that part of the story.
Well, and I was too. In the state of Texas, we have something called mistake of fact. Mistake of fact is where, if it's reasonable, that you mistook the facts. And in this case, she genuinely believed that she was actually in her own apartment, because the Texas Rangers led the investigation, took it away from the Dallas Police Department at their request, and they found that 23% of everybody that lived on floors 3 and 4, that was her floor and his floor, have done the exact same thing, gone to the wrong door, tried to open it. In this case, the strike plate was defective and the door was ajar. So she put the key in there, and it was one of those electronic key fobs. The actual putting the key in, the door just opened. And there's a man in her apartment, and again, you got to remember something. Out of this whole complex, 96 people have done the same thing. 1/4 of everybody on floors 3 and 4. There was no marking. It was the parking. Nobody knew. They parked all the time on the wrong floor. Tons and tons of people testified. You have an attorney who went to walk his dog, came back and went into the wrong apartment, went all the way into the back, and only then when a woman screamed did he realize that he was in the wrong apartment. You had a teacher testify that she had done the same thing, and they didn't notice the floor mat differences, the flower pot differences on different floors, nor the dog urine smell from her floor, and she disregarded those things because she's a normal human being. And this really is, you want to convict somebody of an evil murderer because they commit an act that 1/4 of everybody does, something that's reasonable. You go to the wrong floor to the wrong door. That's what happened.
So Chris, were your listeners upset because it was a murder conviction? Would they have preferred a lesser? I mean, did they expected her to get convicted of anything?
Let me cut to the chase. They've made this about race, which is false and happens all the time. The black Texas Ranger who headed up the investigation, Ranger Anderson, testified that she, and this is a separate from the jury because he wasn't allowed to be testifying as an expert witness, which is why this may get appealed. He testified she didn't commit any crime whatsoever. It was reasonable what she did because she genuinely believed it. He led the investigation. But the jury didn't get to hear that part because he was not allowed to be called an expert witness, which is mind-blowing to many of us.
So what did you and your listeners expect to happen? What did you want to happen with this case?
Not guilty. Guilty by, in the state of Texas, there's a defense called mistake of fact. If that wasn't mistake of fact, then I don't know what is. She genuinely thought she was in her apartment. Now, why did he react the way he did? Well, first of all, it's his own house. True, absolutely. But she was in full uniform. She just got off her shift. She had 30 pounds worth of stuff, including all of her gear, to the left hand. She opened it up, and there's a guy standing in her apartment. He'd been very high on marijuana, very high so he had THC in the system big time. It reeked of weed. There was a bunch of weed on the table. He had his earpods in, so he didn't know what was going on. So he acted differently because he was obviously high and came toward her, couldn't hear her. She ordered him to show me your hands, show me your hands. He kept coming at her. He is 6'1", 247 with a very large chest, according to the ME medical examiner. She is 5'3" and tiny.
So there was some sort of interaction. She didn't just open the door and see this guy and shoot him. Okay.
Yeah, right. And so, most people thought nothing or manslaughter, but it's not manslaughter in this state because manslaughter is reckless. She was not reckless. She walked into what she thought was her apartment, and there was what she thought was an intruder, which is legal to pop and drop right there. And so they convicted her. But the jury didn't even read the jury charge. Jury charge is when the judge gives instructions to the jurors, and then they have it printed out and they get handed it. So they go there, and the second day of testimony, they only deliberated for 5 hours, which is nothing.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's why. The one question they asked on the third or fourth hour of deliberation was, Judge, can you please give us the definition of manslaughter? Can you please give us the definition of castle doctrine? That was on the frickin' jury charge piece of paper in front of all of them that they got the day before. Mm-hmm. They didn't read it. They made up their mind. And they were afraid this town was going to riot. And I tell you what, we were. And the race pimp type folks today were screaming and hollering and yelling after 10 years. 10 years wasn't enough. 10 years wasn't enough.
Yeah, that's the next part. We're talking to Chris Kroc from WBAP in Dallas about this Geiger story. The police officer not knowingly entered the wrong apartment and shot and killed a man. Yesterday was convicted of murder. Today was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Let's talk about the sentence, Chris. For a murder charge, that seems light, but I would imagine your listeners are saying that's way too long, right?
There's no motive. What's the motive? He lived exactly above her apartment. Same number, different floor. Exactly above. Everything's identical. 1/4 of everybody on those two floors have done the exact same thing she did. Are 1/4 of people that live there evil? No. Is a teacher evil? Is an attorney that did the same thing evil? No. The sentencing should have been nothing, and she should have been convicted. But she was sentenced to 10 years, which means she'll actually get out in 5 with good behavior and parole. But here, the most unbelievable thing that you may have not caught, what happened was because evil was prevailing through this whole thing. And God won today when there was one impact statement made by the victim's family, by Botham Jean's little brother, who has been testified. They testified that he was quiet, mom did, and that he's not been talking or anything. He's been so affected by this. His little brother took the stand, and God uses the little ones like David and Goliath.
Yeah.
And and that young man said, I forgive you, I love you, and I'm not supposed to say this, but I don't think you should go to jail. And if I can I come give you a hug? And the judge said yes, and he got off the stand, and he walked to her, and she walked to him, and they embraced for a minute or two, and they wept, and the crowd wept. We all wept, and light won over goodness. Don't go to jail. The race pimps are lying. They're trying to start a riot. They're trying to make money off this and pull in this whole crap about Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown. This guy was a CPA at a big three firm, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and the only thing he did that was inappropriate, quote unquote, was smoking the weed. Other than that, the dude was a Christian, loved God, and practiced his faith, and his little brother showed that today. And that's where good triumphed over evil live in front of all of us in about an hour ago or an hour and a half ago. It was unfreaking believable.
Will there be an appeal?
You know what? Here's the big deal about this. Listen, when you do the way the things the way the big man wants them to do, a lot of funny things start happening because with him all things are possible. And so I honestly would not be surprised. And she was going to appeal. She probably will appeal, and she'll probably win. It'll go en banc, not in front of a small three-court judge of appeals, but probably the full one because of the nature of the case in Dallas County. And they'll get an appeal. It'll probably go to East or West Texas. She will be then not convicted. The ranger will be able to testify. Yes, I've investigated 100 of these cases. Yes, I'm an expert witness. And yes, she should not be charged with anything. God forbid a black Texas Ranger, who is one of the most trained entities in the whole country, they said through this testimony, the Rangers, would say something like that. Oh, boy, he must be a racist. There were death threats against some of the witnesses, and I believe he was the one that got the death threats. The Dallas teacher that testified about going to the wrong apartment floor, she was getting threatened by some people were saying to lose her job. Because the mob wants to destroy and hang and go after people and flog her, wants their pound of flesh. So I don't know if she'll appeal because when the young man did what the big man wanted to do today, which is the antithesis of what our flesh wants us to do, then amazing things happen. I would not be surprised if she ends up accepting it. Because my reaction was, if I was her, I'd be glad to march off and serve the sentence, even though she truly did nothing wrong. Other than make a mistake.
5 years out of good behavior would be a. I'm not judging this case, but that seems to be the reasonable way for her to handle this. Just do the time and get out. Chris, I got to run. Tell the folks in Atlanta how we can listen to you in Dallas, buddy.
Thank you. Yeah, you can tune in tonight. Go to WBAP.com. That's WBAP.com. Follow me on Twitter, @ChrisCroc Show. That's @ChrisCroc Show. Miss y'all. Love y'all. And thanks for having me on, brother.
Always good to talk to you. Not a race pimp. Chris Croc. I appreciate it, buddy. That was the most time in WSB radio history we've heard Chris, the race pimp card thrown out.
Yeah, I know.
Were you guys familiar with the story?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. It was, but I didn't. I don't know. I guess I see both sides of the story. Like the dude was just at home,
eating cereal.
I thought it was ice cream.
No,
it's a better story if it's ice cream.
Maybe it's ice cream.
But so I get that sucks. But I understand. I had a friend. So if you've ever lived in those apartments, like those post type apartments, not singling out post apartments, but a lot of them look alike. And I had a buddy years ago, Chris Croc. No.
You're going to out Chris Croc now?
Matt Capuzzi. My buddy Matt Capuzzi, we came down for New Year's Eve, and we went out, and we got lost in the shuffle, and he wound up taking a cab back to my house, and it's like 4:30 in the morning, and he's banging on my door to let him in. Let me in. He's at the wrong floor. And the guy answers, he's like, who the hell are you banging on my door? And my buddy Capuzzi's wasted, and so I get that. I don't know. I just wanted more information on the story. So I'll get Chuck's opinion. I know he wants to talk about this. And your thoughts as well. 404-872-0750. Outside of Atlanta, 1-800-WSB Talk, the Amber Geiger story. On Twitter and Instagram, at Mark Arum. It's the Mark Arum Show on 95.5 WSB.
Mark Arum on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Respectfully discussing the Amber Geiger story out of Dallas, Texas. Thanks to our old WSB pal Chris Croc for shedding some light on the situation and adding his unique flair. This is the big guy. Every time he said big guy, I was thinking he was talking about Longoria. It was Longoria.
It took me a second to figure out
what
who
Longoria
was
have to do with this. Chuck, your thoughts on this? I'm very curious what you think about this story.
Just very surface level. I was very confused as why it was a murder charge and not a manslaughter charge.
I was confused about that as well. Yeah,
circumstance and intent, and it seemed. And again, I'm not a lawyer, so save the critiques.
Yeah.
But it just didn't seem to fit a murder charge. I thought manslaughter would have been more appropriate.
I agree.
thought murder was an overreach.
Yeah. But I went like on Facebook last night, and the conviction came down, and I'm friends with Chris Crock on Facebook, and his friends were just up in arms, and I was like, I didn't understand. I'm like, well, she shot and killed someone that wasn't doing anything. I didn't know.
Again, that's where circumstance and intent comes in, and so
Let's see what the folks think. Joe's in Austell. Joe, welcome to the Mark Arum Show.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Hello, Joe.
I was okay with everything that Mr. Chris Cross or Chris Crook said until he came to the part of he was high. That has nothing to do with it.
Agreed.
Maybe it accelerated some things, but he shouldn't have accentuated on that one thing.
It had no bearing on the case. No bearing on the case, yeah.
Correct. Somebody walked into this man's house. Whether she should have gotten that sentence or not, I'm not saying, because like you, I'm not too familiar with anything other than what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
But I just didn't like that one thing that he just pushed a little bit. And then you start talking about God, and the Christian part of it, but you made your point to say that dude was high, and I just think that was not even relevant.
I agree.
Else, I agree.
If
with
anything,
what he said,
I mean, I would have preferred he wasn't high just for this fact. So let's just say he wasn't high, okay? And this is allegedly he had THC in his blood, but we don't know if he was like stoned or if that was just from 2 days ago. But if he had all his faculties, maybe he could have been like, "Ma'am, what are you doing? This is my apartment." Maybe he could have been a little bit, more clear on the communication with the officer that went into the wrong house. But I mean, I don't think she should be getting off scot-free. I mean, that's you still killed somebody. I don't know. It's a tough story. I'm glad I'm not involved on either side.
Yeah, a lot of wrongs that happened. That didn't make it.
It's just, I mean, the innocent guy lost his life. That sucks. Should no one be punished for that? More of your thoughts and Johnny Kilbasa with a fast food review when we come back. 404-872-0750. 1-800-WSB. Talk on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum. This is The Mark Arum Show.
Hi, this is Valerie Bertinelli, and you're listening to The Mark Arum Show.
It's so good to be born in America, where all men are free. It's so good to be born in America, all the home of the red, the white, and the blue.
7:36, 24 in front of 8 o'clock. Dag nabbit is still 90 degrees on Peachtree Street. Mark Arum and the Bananas at your beck and call till 8 in the p.m. Monday through Friday, except to tomorrow, Deborah Green, because tomorrow we'll be broadcasting live from 4 to 5 p.m. Tell the folks where they can find us tomorrow.
You can find us at the Delta Gate right before you get into SunTrust Park. We'll be hanging out there.
Braves and the Cardinals, game one of the playoffs here at SunTrust Park. So come out and say hi. We'll be the sweaty foursome underneath the WSB. What are you guys wearing tomorrow, by the way? I hate to, ask outfit questions, but
I don't know. I'll probably wear some shorts or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'd wear some sort of undergarment, yeah. But are you going to wear a T-shirt? Like usually I wear the WSB polo, the blue polo.
Too hot for that.
Is it too hot?
We haven't gotten the new ones yet anyway.
But the one thing I like about the blue WSB polo is it hides my back sweat. Like if I wear a T-shirt, you'll see the back sweat.
Do you have a dark blue T-shirt? Do you have a WSB T-shirt?
No.
Just wear what you're wearing now.
Yeah, just wear that.
Same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wash
No one
it.
knows.
No one
Disgusting.
knows.
You're disgusting.
No
You're
one
gonna get all
knows.
sweaty and disgusting anyway.
Yeah. So who cares?
I like to look good for the folks.
You look great right now.
You look great right now. Thanks,
Right.
Chuck.
Just change the
welcome,
cap,
buddy.
maybe.
Just change the hat, wear the Braves hat.
Yeah, break
all right, so tomorrow, 4 to 5 at SunTrust Park. Johnny Kilbasa straight ahead with a fast food review. We're discussing the Amber Geiger story. I honestly knew of the story, but didn't know the details behind it. Thanks to our old buddy Chris Crock in Dallas for breaking it down. Sentenced to 10 years in prison today for the murder of Botham Jean. Chris said she might get out after 5 years with good behavior. It was really a big story in Dallas. I didn't understand why people were mad because I can see why. I mean, she did kill an innocent man. Like, I don't know if there should not be any repercussions. I don't know if murder is the right charge, but I don't know. Your thoughts on this story? It's easy to see both sides of this story. Unlike a lot of stories where it's like kind of black and white, there's certainly grays, shades of gray in this one. Skip is in Locust Grove. Skip, welcome to the Mark Arum Show.
Well, hi, Mark. How you doing?
What's going on, Skip?
I love about the story in Dallas. Have you ever walked into a female's apartment?
Yeah, dozens of times.
Okay. Okay. It's always different from a male's apartment. So how she can walk in this apartment and knew it wasn't hers?
So, yeah, that actually I was thinking about during the news break. Is there nothing as you open the front door to signify that this isn't your apartment, you know?
I mean...
Like the rug is different. Something hanging on the wall should be different.
Maybe the lights were off?
I don't know.
The smell.
The smell, yeah. My apartment definitely used to smell different than ladies' apartments. That's a good point.
Okay. Secondly, I'm with the other lady who called in. What do marijuana got to do with it?
Nothing. There's no bearing on the story whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah.
He brought it up.
He did. For the record, I have no problem if you want to smoke weed, Longoria, in the privacy of your own home.
Okay.
As long as your kids are already in bed and you're not driving.
Right.
Actually, I don't want you driving when you're not high. So
yeah, I mean, it may be different when I am.
Just don't drive, period. Alan's in Tucker. Alan, welcome to the Mark Arum Show.
Hi.
Hello, Alan or Ellen?
Hey, Ellen.
Hello, Ellen. How are you?
Yes. I have a friend who did the same thing. Came in late at night, put the key in the door, jiggled it. It didn't quite work. Jiggled the door, and it opened. Went inside, and this woman is screaming her lungs out and realized that he was in the wrong apartment. If she'd had a gun, he would have been dead.
Yeah. Well, what would have happened if the guy in the apartment in Dallas had a gun and shot? And it would,
right.
Yeah. Like he wouldn't have been charged, right? I mean, there's someone coming into.
Yeah, they do have Protect Your Castle in Texas.
Yeah.
So.
What was that law that Chris said? Something about not eminent domain, but he said there was some sort of phrase that they have in Texas where innocent death. I don't remember what he said, but it was.
Like you couldn't be charged with manslaughter.
Yeah, like accidental something. Yeah. I don't know. Ellen, always a pleasure, my dear.
Thank you.
All right. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB Talk.
And now, on the Mark Arum Show, it's time for the Fast Food Review.
Yeah, joining us live on the Greasy Salty Hotline from parts unknown, height unknown, weight. We do not want to know. Johnny Kilbasa and the ever so popular Fast Food Review. How you doing, Jonathan?
I'm doing great, Mark Arum. Happy playoffs, Braves. Happy playoffs, Atlanta United, and happy playoffs, Mark Arum. Because I'm wrapped in bacon. I'm here for the thing. I'm covered with cheese, and I aim to please in the preseason, regular season, or postseason. Mark.
You got a weird phone connection there, Johnny. Put your mouth right up against the nozzle there.
Is that better? Maybe it's just a bad connection. I don't know.
I don't know. What do you think, Longoria?
Who the hell is that talking, Mark?
Oh, sounds good to me.
All right, Johnny, what's on the menu tonight? I'm sorry, I couldn't really hear you that well.
I'm sorry too, Mark. I can't. If I had this phone any closer to my face, I'd be. Well, you don't want to know. But Mark, talking about Burger King, they're bringing out all kinds of new stuff. Last week we talked about the maple waffle sandwiches, and they had the crispy tacos. They've got mozzarella sticks now. They got something else for you, and that's pretzel buns. We don't see this very often in the fast food world, so they're bringing out the pretzel bacon king, the regular king sandwich, which is basically their Whopper patty with cheese on it and without the salad on top of it, like you get.
Johnny, pull the phone away from your mouth a little bit.
He's
now.
Popping his peas.
Yeah, you're popping your peas a little bit. Now pull it away a little bit.
Maybe is Russ in Gainesville here? Maybe he can take over for me.
No.
Where's Russ?
It sounds like you're talking through a sock or something.
I don't know, man. You want me to call back?
Yeah, call back. Call back, Johnny.
Let's get Russ on the phone.
No, Johnny will never call back then. Johnny's going to call back because I want to talk to Johnny about this. Deb found this study. Actually, I heard it this morning on the morning news. Chick-fil-A has the slowest drive-through.
I don't know where they got that information.
Well, so here's the deal.
I've always had it. I mean...
Yeah, I get... All right, see if we can get Johnny. Johnny, you back there, buddy?
I hope so. Is this any better, Mark?
Yeah, a little bit. All right, pretzel bun at Burger King. It's good?
Pretzel bun, split top, X on top, a little toasty, a little fluffy, a little poofy, a little chewy, a little cheesy, a little patty, little mustard, little mayo. Little
All right, it's good, though. You recommend it. That's what I want to know.
Mark, I try to give you objective analysis on fast food every week on the Mark Arum Show. Let the people decide for themselves. I know it goes really well with a frozen orange Fanta.
Okay.
That's one of the things I like to get at Burger King.
So, all right, don't talk anymore, Johnny, for a second. Let me read this. So, Chick-fil-A, according to QSR, a performance study by QSR, has the slowest drive-through in the fast food business. 322.98 seconds is the average wait time. The fastest is Dunkin' Donuts at a zifty 216 average seconds in the wait time. Here's what I think, because I think Chick-fil-A's drive-through lines are always longer. That's why the wait time's there. I think if the line moves, it's just there's 15 customers in front of you, as opposed to maybe Taco Bell were 3. So here are the fastest: Dunkin' Donuts, Wendy's, Burger King, Taco Bell, Carl's Jr., KFC. That surprises me. I thought KFC would be longer. Arby's, Hardee's, McDonald's, and Chick-fil-A coming in last are the slowest. I've never had a problem in the Chick-fil-A drive-thru, but it does lead all competitors in order accuracy at 94%.
And I'm sure most of those are at least over 85%. And if you get over 85%, I think you're good to go. I'm not the person who stops and checks their order when you're holding everything up when you got to either stay there in the drive-thru line or take up one of the spots and make sure you've got everything. Just take what they give you. Who cares? Just eating 85, 95%. Just get on down the road.
Yeah, I'm with you. There are certain occasions where if I'm picking up food for, let's say Longoria, and he wants the double quarter pounder with no onions, I'll stop to make sure that I'll check to make sure there's no onions.
Really?
Because I love you, Longoria. But here's one thing. Wow. Here's a tip from a pro, not to step on your toes, Johnny. Before you leave the drive-thru at any location, it doesn't matter if it's McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, whatever, they should give you your soda first, right? Always take a sip of your soda. Because if you don't, and the machine ran out of syrup, and it's just, then you're screwed. You're already down Howell Mill Road, and you got to turn around. So always take a first sip of your soda before you leave the drive-thru line to make sure it's a fully juiced soda.
Yeah, and then look in your rearview mirror for Johnny Kielbasa flipping you off. Right behind you.
No, I'm saying, so they give you the soda first before they give you your order. So they give you the soda, take a sip while they're getting the rest of your order. And then when they come back with your food, you'd be like, oh, by the way, your Sprite machine's dead or whatever. And you hand them the cup back and they give you another. Because that's the worst feeling. You're on the highway already and you pop the straw in the soda machine, in the soda cup, and it's like brown seltzer. It's God bless it. Ran out of syrup.
God bless.
God bless Johnny Kielbasa. All right, you know what, Johnny? I'm going to pay you tonight so you can get a new phone for Monday. We appreciate you as always, and...
All
things Kielbasa on JohnnyKielbasa.com. Appreciate you, bruh.
Anytime, bro.
I think that's Johnny Kielbasa's passive-aggressive way of saying, Arum, you haven't cut me a check in 2 months.
I'm going to be on the crappiest phone ever.
Yeah, I think he borrowed someone's flip phone.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of flip phones, I saw somebody on a flip phone last night.
In the building?
At Publix.
There's a new flip phone now.
The guy that was in front of me was on the flip phone. I was like, I almost told him, "You're on a flip phone." Really?
I almost told him.
Hey, like he didn't know.
I don't know if you know this, sir.
There's smartphones now.
Sure, on a flip phone.
Did you see
Clark Howard?
Aziz Ansari's last stand-up special? So he's got a flip phone. And he was there's like 4 big name celebrities that have flip phones. It's like him and 3 other random.
Yeah.
Like Billy Baldwin, there's this core 4 of celebrities that are sticking out with the flip phone. I don't think you should call it out on it. I mean, if you don't know the guy, Longoria, I don't want to stand your ground. This burly Eskimo was assaulting me, so I shot him. Yeah. And then took a picture with my flip phone camera.
He has a camera.
Mark joins us on the program. Hello, Mark.
Hey.
Hey, buddy.
Mark.
Yes, sir.
There's a part of the story that Chris Crock did not tell you.
Tell me about it.
Okay. These two was dating.
What?
Yes, they was dating. He was not a stranger to her. And some say that the reason she shot him, she found out he was cheating on her. They have pictures of them together.
Really?
I don't know why Chris Crop didn't tell you that part.
I have not. All right, calm down, Mark. Deb Green, can you do a quick Google search on that?
I think at the beginning there was rumors that they were dating and or knew each other,
but not confirmed.
I'll
try, Mark. If that's true, that's a good tip. I'll try to.
Hold on.
Yeah,
hold on. Now, there are some pictures of them together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you send them to me on your flip phone? No,
Oh, Mark being a comedian now. Okay.
That's all I know what to do. I only know how to be funny. That's interesting. Well, I'll check it out though. Because I had not heard. Again, I haven't paying close attention to the story. I knew the basic details of the story. That's why we had Chris Crock on, who said the big guy came in and saved all. Again, thought he was talking about Longoria.
Yeah.
Valerie's in Roswell. Val, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's interesting what that guy just said because I didn't follow this case, and I was talking with a friend of mine because I knew about it, and I thought, well, she could have served time for manslaughter, but what I heard is that she was banging on the door. First, she said she parked on the wrong floor, then she went up the steps, then her key didn't work, then the door was a little ajar. What really put me over the edge on this, because I think she sounded like she wasn't telling the truth. And there's actual video of when the police came there and they were doing CPR on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
But someone that lives in that complex had the fob. They have interesting keys to get into that building.
Yeah.
And she said, I live here. Here's my fob. Now, let me open my door, because they don't fit anyone's door but your own. She opens it completely, goes into her apartment, turns around and goes, oh, let's see if the door shuts or would be ajar. And it closes completely. And I've lived in high-rises and places like that where the doors will close. They're heavy, and it's a safety thing. Those doors aren't ajar unless you flip the switch for the deadbolt or
to
something.
stay open. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
All right, so
I think
obviously
it's not making a lot of sense.
we don't have all the facts. Deb is fact-checking as we speak. If she finds anything, we'll let you know next. This is the Mark Arum Show on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Mark Arum on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Apologies to Tim, Charlie, and Jen. We plumb ran out of time. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll be broadcasting live from 4 to 5 p.m. at SunTrust Park at the Delta Gate.
That's right.
Before the Braves-Cardinals game. Let's do star of the show, Longoria.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Arum Star of the Show?
I was going to give it to the millennial Joseph, but I think Johnny Kilbasa was very ornery, and he deserves it. So you agree? Johnny Kilbasa, star of the show. All right, Johnny Kilbasa, star of the show. Tomorrow on early, 4 to 5 p.m. Don't forget, you listen to the show at home via Amazon Alexa, the WSB Radio app, and the podcast always available on WSBRadio.com or iTunes. We'll continue the conversation on Twitter and Instagram at Mark Arum, Facebook Mark Arum WSB. In the meantime, go to sleep, little baby.
Go to sleep, you little baby.
Guests of the Mark Arum Show stay at the All-Suite Omni Hotel, located in the heart of Chicago's Magnificent Mile. 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 Chicago's Magnificent Mile.